All right. Great. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our June meeting, our June Clean Air Coalition meeting. It's nice to see you all. We're still letting some people in. Before we start with our opening question, if we could just go around and introduce ourselves. We have my colleague Stacy joining us today. All right.
I can go first. Hi, Stacy. Nice to meet you, and it's nice to see everybody. I'm Catherine Stafford. I'm the Child Health and Nutrition Director at Cocoa Kids, and we're the local resource and referral agency in Contra Costa County. And I see that my question is, what is your favorite, most refreshing snack to eat when it's hot? And I'm sure I won't be alone when I say watermelon.
Nice. Thank you, Catherine. Who would like to go next?
I can go real quick. I'm Lou Flores. I'm with a number of groups. What brought me to this group was 350 Contra Costa Action. We work in Contra Costa and focus on different issues related to the environment, climate, and air and stuff. And then my favorite, most refreshing, I would say a popsicle, taking it out of the fridge when it's kind of warm.
Nice. Thank you, Lou.
Hi, Ellie. This is Danae calling from the city of Pittsburgh. How are you guys?
Good. How are you? Hi, Danae.
Good. My most refreshing snack is, I would have to agree, watermelon, but also lately pickles.
Pickles. Pickles are good ones. Nice. Thanks, Danae.
I'll go. Hi everybody. I'm Stacy Martin Bonaduce. I'm the program and grant manager for SCOCO. And I think one of my most refreshing favorite snacks is, it's not really a snack, but fresh lemonade. Like homemade lemonade is just
We can go next. Here is Edith, Yesenia Arevalo, and Patricia Talby from La Clínica de la Raza in Pittsburgh. We were discussing what we like, and we always have mandarins. Cuties are our favorite.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah, and by the way, Liliana, I love your shirt from Mexico.
Yeah. Thank you. World Cup, yep. I know. The game started at 12 and we just have this meeting every month. On the second, and I was like, okay, I'll just come back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I can go. I'm Eliana. I'm the senior program specialist. Did I just forget my title? I've been with SCOCO for 6 years and I've had like 4 different titles, but I'm really happy to see you all. My favorite refreshing snack, honestly, I like to eat ice. And I think that is just kind of like I think it's like an iron deficiency thing where you're like not really supposed to eat it, but I love to eat ice. And it's just very refreshing, a good way to stay hydrated, all of that. But yeah, thanks for joining, everyone. Happy to see you all. We have a lot of things to discuss today. So we just did our welcome. We're going to be talking about the Pittsburgh Data Center. Edith, Patricia, and oh my gosh, our friends from La Clínica are going to be leading this part of the conversation, and Maria. And then we are going to, here's Maria. Okay. And then I'm going to give you a little update on Aclima. They were in the slides from last month that I sent last week, but we can discuss that a little bit. And then we have some requests to share information, as we usually do. And then we'll have the opportunity to give round robin updates if anybody has any upcoming events or anything like that. And then we will close out. Alrighty, so a little discussion about the Pittsburgh Data Center. So this was brought to Sustainable Contra Costa's attention last week, and we'd love to know your thoughts. And as luck would have it, Edith and La Clínica, they emailed me about this and they wanted to discuss it. So I said, perfect. We would love to hear your thoughts. Edith, Patricia, and Maria, the floor is yours. I would say we can just come back around maybe like 35, 1:35. And if that's too long, that's fine too. But yeah, the floor is yours. Thank you for bringing this to our attention too. They have an event coming up that they will mention. But yeah, for the time being, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Eliana. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for providing the time. And so we very much appreciate it. So maybe I'll start by sharing some information about some of the work that Edith and Patty have been doing with Promotoras. They have been part of these monthly collaborative meetings with the city of Pittsburgh, particularly with the environmental health liaison, Suna Barker. And as part of the goals that they have developed, they are planning to host a resource fair in the fall for potentially September 19th. And part of the goal of the event is to promote information and resources about green options. And so, for example, one idea that has come up is working with Actera and Cool the Earth to have a car show, but with electric vehicles. And then having people see the vehicles, what they look like, but also the information about kind of the benefits that they bring in terms of cost savings, but also the impact to the environment. And so we definitely would like to keep you posted as more details come up. The goal of the event is to make it a community celebration / resource event, also to promote, because it's around the Latin American Independence Days, having performers from different countries, not only Mexico. They want to make it very diverse with all Latin American countries. So we're looking at having this event in the front lawn of the back area of City Hall. And so these are kind of the broad ideas, and more details to come as this is being planned. And so we were at the last meeting on Monday, actually, and Leticia Preciado was there. We have a number of agencies that have been coming. Leticia Preciado from Pittsburgh Unified, representation from First Five, also Monument Impact, Village Resource Center, and then we had some members from St. Peter Modern Church. And at the end of the meeting, Leticia Preciado brought up to our attention these Facebook post that she had run into. And I believe it's the same post that Edith shared with you via email. And for me personally, it was the first time I had seen it. And so for us, we were kind of interested to hear what other community groups have heard about it, and kind of prepare. We talked to the group of promotoras on Monday evening because they had a meeting, and some of them were interested in coming out, but also being part of the public comment. And some of the questions that I have and I'm trying to figure out is confirm if in fact this is in the agenda, confirm if public comment needs to be like pre-registered, or can people come the day of and register on the spot. That is a little unclear. I did reach out to Suna just to ask. I haven't heard back. I do have a meeting tomorrow with someone from the city of Pittsburgh. I think she works for the city manager's office. We happened to have a pre-scheduled meeting, and so I could take advantage of that and kind of try to get details from her. But I thought, we could also bring it to this group and see if you might have some of those details, if you're aware. I personally don't know who's been posting these on social media, because the post doesn't specify the group. And then in addition to the post, we have also seen a petition that is out asking people to sign against the data center. So that's kind of what we know at the moment. And so I would open it up to you if you have more information, if you have been aware. Like I said, we are interested in participating, having staff and promotoras be present, but we also want to make sure we are prepared. And so yeah, I'll open it to you. I see your hand up, Eliana, and Lu. I'll pass it to you.
Maria?
Thank you, Maria.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead, Danae. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
this is Danae. I work in the city manager's office for the city of Pittsburgh. I just have some questions. Sorry, I have some thoughts on your questions, and I don't want to lose them right away. So your question in regarding to if this item is on the agenda, I'm looking at the agenda right now, and I don't see this project on here, but anyone is welcome to come speak. Let me see, they have, sorry, I'm trying to look it up here. They have public comments. I believe you get 3 minutes. So members of the audience who wish to address the city council or agency boards on issues that are not scheduled for the agenda and on any items as part of the consent calendar should complete a speaker's card available at the dais. So when you go into the council meeting, there'll be speaker's cards on the left-hand side of the dais. And you fill out a card and you give it to the city clerk. And then when it's time to do the public comments, they will read each name and then they'll start a 3-minute clock. Preferably before the meeting begins. So it says submit the completed card to the city clerk before the item is called, preferably before the meeting begins. Individuals will be given 3 minutes to address the council unless additional time is allowed as provided for spokespersons. Prior to speaking, each member of the public shall state their name and business and city of residence in a clear and audible tone of voice. No action is required. So this is online. If you just Google Pittsburgh City Council meeting, and if you click on the June 15th council meeting, you'll get the agenda there and all the documents on any items on the agenda. So I hope that answers your questions in regards to if it's on the agenda and how to make a public comment. And it looks like public comments will be after the 8th item, and you can see it on the agenda there. So I hope that answers it. I'm trying to look if there's anything else on the agenda. And I think there was two social media posts that were put up maybe this week in regards to the project and in regards to the the city council meeting. So sorry, lots of information, but I was trying to get it out before I lost my train of thought.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Thanks, Danae. And we're so glad that you're here too, of course, always. Well, not everyone's here, but so great that we're able to just like have these questions and get them answered very quickly.
Absolutely.
My colleague Stacy put some links in the chat about the project. And then it looks like Lou also put a link in the chat, a page from the City of Pittsburgh's website. So another question we have too is like, have you guys heard about this? There are of course opportunities to like have public comments, and that's really good. But like this is the first time that our organization had heard about it. So just wondering like if this is something you all knew about too. And then Lou, go ahead.
So I live in Pittsburgh, and I'm with 350 Contra Costa Action, and my understanding was that there was a data center in the works, and then a group, and I'll post this too when I finish talking. But apparently, the Center for Biological Diversity, there was a lawsuit, and apparently they held up the project, and then all the lawyers and the judges and everything, they came to a resolution, and everyone agreed to the plan in order to allow the data center to continue. And this was this was an immediate release, December 2025. So about 6 months ago, this document came out, this agreement about the data center. The other thing too is it's a very strange situation because depending on who you talk to, it's almost like a horrible divorce. Like one person is saying this is the truth, and then the other person is saying this is the truth, and they're completely opposite. So one of the things that I've come across, which is sort of frustrating because I feel like I'm in the middle, so to speak, is that when I speak to people in City Hall, and I spoke to one council member, and I spoke to one person in the economic development department, and they're adamant that they've, for many years, had, and it's even in the document that I shared with the link to the data page, they're adamant that they've been open to sending out notices to people and then to having public meetings, and they've tried everything. And then when you, on the other hand, when you talk to activists and you talk to people that are putting this petition out and the neighborhood, they're saying, we didn't hear anything. We haven't been informed. We're very upset. I find it disappointing because my next step that I'm interested in doing is actually finding out more about the reality. Like I'm assuming the city is going to have documentation related to they sent out flyers or they sent out postcards to certain addresses. They knocked on certain doors. They had certain meetings. When they had those meetings, public meetings, they had a sign up of who showed up, and then when did all this start? Because again, I could be wrong in the date, but my understanding is that this whole discussion, and maybe Danae knows better than I, started maybe as far as 2018. So it's been in the works. And then, so I personally do not know what the truth is and who to believe. I understand a lot of people are very angry. It's kind of disappointing because I've been to council meetings in the past, not just Pittsburgh, but other cities and stuff. And in my opinion, one of the tragedies of council meetings is when you have public comment and there's a lot of heat and there's a lot of anger and there's a lot of frustration, no one responds. So I can be very angry and express my anger for 3 minutes, and then they say, thank you, next. So then it doesn't really dissipate the anger or the confusion. I would hope that next step would be a community meeting, which I assume would be well attended, where people can have a back and forth. So if there is a suggestion by people at the council meeting Monday evening, I would hope that everyone suggests, let's not just throw sticks and get angry at each other. Let's try to have a meeting where we can actually talk. Let's have translators there. Let's have documentation. Let's find out what's really going on so that we dissipate the anger and then we increase the education. And then what I'll do is, again, I'm going to try to do this as when I finish talking, is I'll post the agreement. It's summary. I also have access to the actual legal document, which is like 200 pages. I could post that too if you want to look at that. That's no problem. But apparently there was quite a bit of work in trying to reach a resolution. And again, I don't know what the truth is as far other than what people have said. And I live in Pittsburgh. I've been here for 10 years. And I actually was kind of unaware of everything that was going on. So it wasn't like someone knocked on my door or I received maybe they did and I just threw it away and I didn't think twice about it. But anyway, hopefully it helps. And again, I'll try to post those things so that at least you have access to that information. The link to the data page in the City of Pittsburgh website that I put on there, if you go to that, you go down to the FAQs, and they actually have 2 long sections that speak to all the work that the city did in trying to have meetings and send out flyers. There's no specific details, like it doesn't say on June 30th, 2020, we sent 20 postcards to people that live 100 feet away from. It basically says that they did send out information, they did try to contact, they did have neighborhood meetings. So in that sense, it's a bit ambiguous. But anyway, so thank you. Sorry for being long-winded. Okay.
Thank you, Lou. This was great. And this is, we brought this topic for conversation so people could talk about it and share what they think. So this is perfect. And we're always happy to hear everyone's contribution. So thank you, Lou. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
I also wanted to include, sorry, I don't have, I guess I could put it in the chat here. If you go to www.pittsburghca.gov/techpark, and this might be the same website that Lou is referring to, but I can add it in the chat as well. And it has just some information on FAQs, environmental review, project approvals, and then the specific plan. I might give you guys just some more information on it. I'll include it in the chat if it hasn't been already. Oh, it looks like it might be the same one, but I'll include it anyways.
Thank you so much. This is very helpful. And yeah, I wanted to echo what Mr. Lou shared. I also live in Pittsburgh, but it's not something that I had seen or heard about before. And I think there's a lot of development that's going on in the city of Pittsburgh. They have hotels, they have the new sports center on Leland. And so, which is great. There's a lot of growth and development, but it's hard to I hadn't heard specifically about this data center being in the works. So I think it seems like now it's picking up momentum in terms of the word getting out. But and it's something that we had discussed with Jesse and Patty, is like the community is wanting to understand, because for X reason, whether the information has gone out or not, for some reason it hasn't been received by community members. So if there can be a focused effort to hold an information session with the community where they can ask questions and understand and get more of the details, it is something that that we're thinking about going on Monday and asking for that opportunity, that type of community engagement and participation to take place around this project specifically.
And then a question just for the group in general, like it sounds like a lot of us hadn't heard about this. Like, had anyone heard about this before, or were they aware of this? Just like as a general question. Also, welcome, Teresa. I know you joined a little while ago, and we were just talking about this data center in Pittsburgh, but welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
I do feel like I heard about it, but I don't live in Pittsburgh, and I can't remember really that much. Or like, Lou, had you ever mentioned it before? Because I'm not sure where I heard about it.
The funny thing is, because I live in Pittsburgh, people had been recently asking me about it, and I felt really like a knucklehead because I said, geez, I don't know anything about this. So I actually went out of my way and I spoke to one of the council members recently, and I spoke to one of the staff people in the Economic Development Department. And then I asked some specific questions, not just about the data center, but about there's a battery storage facility in Pittsburgh, and there's some power plants, and there's some carbon dioxide being used for one of them for some cement work, I think, or something like that. Anyway, so I asked a number of questions, and then that's when I heard about it. I did hear something a few months ago where there was an agreement between, I don't know if you heard me say this, between the Center of Biological Diversity and the city on the data center itself. So I'm going to put that in the whatchamacallit chat now, kind of a thing. But I was clueless, unaware of it. And my focus has been on carbon capture, and then on Aclima, and then on other things related to air quality. And then this one sort of was kind of in the background. I know that there was a data center proposed in Oakley recently, and I know that a number of people, I think the city council was packed, and then they have a moratorium. I don't know if it's for 6 months or a year in whatchamacallit, Oakley. This one here, as far as I know, there's been an agreement signed legally with lawyers and, like I said before, with judges, and they're moving forward with it. So it's going to be, and this is only phase one. Apparently, there's 3 phases, and phase one now is going to be moving forward as far as my understanding goes. And it's of the 76 acres, it's going to be 22 acres, and there's a lot of CEQA was looking into it, Center for Biological Diversity, so they made it as environmentally safe as possible. The one thing that got through that people are not happy about is that there's going to be 37 diesel power generators that apparently are going to be fired up every month in order to make sure that they're working in case there's an emergency kind of a thing. But other than that, they're using renewables from an electrical plant, I think, that Pittsburgh owns, and it's across the river or something, and it's all renewable stuff. They're going to be air cooled, and then they're going to be using non-potable water, and they're going to have like soundproofing. So I think there's definitely room for discussion, but I feel the same way that at a certain level, with all due respect to the people in the city that made their best effort, apparently, I think there was a failure in communication as far as actually letting people know, and maybe people in the city didn't realize what an electrical charge this is. Nowadays, when you say data center in my city, whoa, people just explode. So I think maybe it would have been a good idea if it was really like knocking on people's doors, maybe putting an announcement in everyone's water bill, and then you kind of see it, but life is what it is, and we are where we are. And again, hopefully we do have a meeting after this council meeting on Monday, kind of a thing. I'll put the agreement in here, and then you could look at the agreement. It's whatchamacallit, summary, and then I'll put the whole agreement, which is like hundreds of pages, and good luck getting through that one there, kind of thing.
Anyway, I don't know if it was something else, but I do remember there was something big that was going to bring jobs to Pittsburgh, and it could have been this, but it might have been something else. I guess it just didn't stick in my head.
Maybe that's another question, or maybe a point of controversy about really how many jobs a data center would bring. Especially with AI, it seems like the amount of physical jobs is less and less.
Yeah.
So I think that's also one of the questions. Is it really bringing a significant amount of jobs?
Yeah.
And what is the environmental impact? Is it really worth it?
Yeah. And I would even say, as far as the jobs go, I would say, are the people being hired, do they live in Pittsburgh? Are the people that are constructing, do they live in Pittsburgh? Or is it people commuting from far away, creating more greenhouse gases in order to work in Pittsburgh, to create jobs for people that live outside of Pittsburgh, and, kind of thing. So, yeah, I think that would be a good question.
Well, thank you so much. We want to be mindful of your time. I think we took the time that you had allotted for this discussion. This is really, really helpful. Mr. Liu, thank you so much for the research that you did. I definitely learned a lot more than the information we had prior to joining this meeting. So thanks for all the links and the information about the structure and the agenda for the city council meeting. That's very helpful as well. Thanks for providing this space to have this conversation. Very much appreciated.
Awesome. Thank you, Maria. Thanks for coming and also bringing it to our attention. This was like perfect timing that these are coming up. So it was perfect. And we have our regularly scheduled meeting. So thank you everyone for engaging in this discussion. I think it was really good, really informative. And then especially, right, like just having these materials is great. All right. Does anyone have any final thoughts that they'd like to share before we continue with our meeting or the rest of the meeting? All right. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. And then, as always, you can also email the Clean Air Coalition Google group. So if you have like any questions, or you're like, oh, I found this information about it, you can always email the Google group too. Okay, so next on the agenda, I have just wanted to continue the conversation about ACLIMA, just because I know we've all been very excited about it. So ACLIMA, so just a general update. There was supposed to be a public engagement webinar for ACLIMA earlier, or I guess this week. But with the time constraints of ACLIMA's contract and all of the data that they have across all 64 communities that had mobile air monitoring, they weren't able to finish it in time. And ACLIMA's contract with CARB is ending next week. So what ACLIMA is doing is they're handing all of this information over to CARB. Oh, wait, actually, hold on. I think that's on the next slide. Let me back up. Let me zoom out a little bit. So our primary contact for all statewide mobile monitoring related communication is this new email. It's the statewide mobile monitoring at airresourcesboard.ca.gov. Links as far as the statewide mobile monitoring project on the ACLIMA website, which I think most of us have seen, but I just wanted to put it here as well. And then CARB has a statewide mobile monitoring webpage on their website as well. And that is where program updates are going to be. So CARB is getting the data and information from ACLIMA. They are tentatively going to be publishing the story maps, which are the community data and all of that information. We think in August, but maybe later on in the summer. So once we get an update, we'll let you know. And then CARB is supposed to hold a public webinar at a later date to also go over these findings. However, it's going to be just like a general project overview. They're going to be talking about kind of like the direction that the project is going in and things like that. As a result, we don't have the data from East County just yet, because I think ACLIMA is doing like their data review and just like looking through all of their data. However, we are still supposed to get it later on this year. And it's just that ACLIMA's contract is ending. So our role as Sustainable Contra Costa, as engagement leads, we submitted a final survey last week to kind of finish up our end of the contract. And we were just giving them feedback about like things CARB should do when they have a public engagement webinar. And some of the things that we suggested were like having somebody from CARB available to answer questions, or have people that we would be able to ask these questions to, or explain the data, and hopefully that will be well received. But as we get more updates, we'll let you know. So I know that all of us are definitely very excited to hear about what they're doing. Data collection ended earlier this year. So as far as seeing the data and getting the data, we'll let you know when we get it. But I think ACLIMA ultimately realized that like 64 communities worth of data and 6 months worth of data for each community was kind of a tall order to finish really quickly. So it's just a lot of data to go through. But hopefully, once that's done, we'll be able to see the information on the different sites that you all recommended back when we started the project. So like where you wanted to see the monitoring, main like sources of pollution, and then the story maps, which Danae, City of Pittsburgh, and some of you also sent pictures for. That's what that'll be used for later on in the year. So like eventually we'll be able to click around on a story map, see different parts of the community, and also see, I think, which is how they've kind of explained it, the just like different like pollution sources and things like that, and what pollutants there are. So if you have any questions about ACLIMA, you can continue to send them. Yes, go ahead, Lou. You can continue to send them to me. We can send them to the project email. But as far as like contacting ACLIMA, their contract's about 10. So now we would start asking CARB about these questions, which personally I think would be good, because then it would still let them know that we're very interested in this and want to hear about it. So go ahead, Lou.
Thank you for the update. The thing that crossed my mind was that, again, I don't I can't predict the future. My gut feeling is that there's a good possibility that this data center will move forward. And one of the concerns is going to be about these 37 diesel-powered generators. Given we're the Clean Air Coalition, by any chance, is there any way that we would work with neighbors that live around the data center, and then somehow or other, I don't know what agency or how this could happen, but that somehow the air could be monitored so that if the data center does start up, that there can be data that shows that, yes, the air pollution is getting really bad, or no, everything seems about the same. It's not great, but it's about the same. You know, I don't know if that would alleviate concerns or if, kind of thing, but I think it would be not a bad idea to actually get some definitive data points that reflect the air quality, given I suspect that's going to be a big concern for people. Okay. And then the other one that's a big concern is noise. I don't know if this forum is where people talk about, but I don't know if that could be somehow monitored, and which agency would do that kind of a thing. But just some thoughts. And again, thank you for the update on Aclima.
Yes, of course. I'm just writing that down. Yeah, that's a good question as far as like putting up air monitors around the data center, or engaging neighbors, right? Like if there are purple air monitors, or how to basically doing citizen science as far as like installing air monitors. Yeah, that's a good question. One that we can definitely keep in mind. As right off the bat, I'm not sure, but that's a really good idea as far as like being able to, as a community, participate in that as well. And just knowing that, right, like, lived experiences and health effects and things like that, like you can know kind of what the impacts are of poor air quality, but when you have the data to back it up, then it becomes irrefutable, right? So like that's really definitely really important and a really good point. Thank you, Lou. And then monitoring noise, yeah, that would be interesting too, just like seeing what the experience is like for residents who are living near this new data center. Yeah, that's good to know. And then of course the Aclima data will be able to help support different I would think like just different initiatives in general, but also just being able to show like, look, like this is a big source of pollutants. It's this pollutant that is coming from this specific area, and then being able to kind of work from there as far as finding funding or bringing community awareness. Or because I remember too, like some of the routes that we had wanted to have data around were like by schools or by parks or by city hall, right? So like all of those are definitely going to be very impactful as far as what we're able to use the data for. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, thank you. All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to that?
Well, I do remember in our meeting, I think it was Antioch, though, that they had the purple air monitors. They were looking for places to put them. So maybe if the city of Pittsburgh is interested in getting a hold of those through a grant, or however Antioch did it, maybe they could then put them around the actual data center before it even goes into effect. So they're collecting the data before, during, and be able to account for differences.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I just
find
took
that
note.
out there because I remember we had a gal. Didn't we have? She was coming to this meeting from Antioch, and she had these purple air monitors. So
Yeah, I know. I remember exactly which ones you're talking about. I made a note. So thank you for suggesting that.
Yes, thank you for suggesting that. I was thinking about that too when that was Olivia at Antioch. She's not there anymore, and hopefully they hired for Julie and Olivia's positions. But yes, they had their purple air monitors, and I like, Catherine, what you said about having the data before, so you're able to have like a baseline of like, this is what it was like before this was installed, and then also having the data of it being there, like that's really important as far as data collection goes too, right? To just be like, not only is this what's happening now, but this is what it was like before it was even here. So that's a good idea. Great, thank you. Yeah, and we'll have to ask Julie about it or something like this next time we see them. So that'll be good to know as well. All right. The next kind of portion of our meeting, we have plenty of requests to share, lots of information. Just a reminder that we can email the Clean Air Coalition. The Clean Air Coalition Google group has its own email, but these are also just things that come up. So after this meeting, we'll send out this slideshow, and then if you guys have anything you want to add, we can add it into the slides and send it out. And then I have like a bunch of emails that have these materials. So I'm thinking of the best way to either attach all the materials in one email so people can send it out, or just sending those emails following this slide deck, so we all kind of know like what information is being shared or being asked to share. Sustainable Contra Costa has its annual Leadership and Sustainability Awards Gala coming up. We are looking for nominations until July 3rd. So far, we only have 6. So if you know of any individuals, nonprofits, government programs, school, or businesses, individuals, we always have a Lifetime Achievement Award, and then we have a Rising Star. So if anybody knows of any like youth leaders or anything like that, we always have an awardee for that as well. This next slide is just kind of the messaging around this, and the graphic if anyone wants to send it out or post it. The nomination form itself is pretty short, and it doesn't take very long to fill out. And you can also self-nominate if that is of interest to anybody. And then everything is hyperlinked in here too. So once you get the slides, you can click on the information. Similarly, Sustainable Contra Costa and Contra Costa Water District, right, CCWD, are working on a summer water-wise challenge just to encourage people to save water this summer, especially when it comes to replacing your lawn and saving water just outside, especially because it's so hot. As we all know, there are plenty of resources out there. So part of this challenge is also connecting people to resources from the water district that they already have available that people are maybe not as aware of, like perusing the water district website. So they've sent us a lot of good materials too, just about not only kind of sharing these materials, but plants that you can use instead in your lawn, or instead of a lawn, or a watering schedule, or just rebates or mulch coupons, things like that. So this is kind of how you participate, and this is the messaging as well. Next, we have the Contra Costa Resilient Shoreline Plan community advisory cohorts. So the county is developing a resilient shoreline plan to address rising sea levels and protect shoreline communities along Contra Costa's 90-mile shoreline, which is kind of crazy to think about. But they're recruiting participants for their community advisory cohorts who will provide input, share their local knowledge and lived experience, and learn about shoreline challenges and adaptation strategies. So there are going to be 4 separate cohorts, and I'll show you the map for kind of like what those cohorts are going to be. Their geographic distribution, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But there will be 4 cohort meetings. They'll be virtual and in person, and then Spanish interpretation, childcare services, reimbursement for time, and transportation to and from meetings will be provided also as needed for some of those, but those are going to be available. So the application is linked in this slide and closes on June 30th. And then all of the materials they have available are available in English and Spanish. So there's also a separate QR code and application, like a Spanish application as well. So we will go ahead and share those with you too. I don't know if everyone can see, but these are the different cohorts. So we have one that's rural Delta communities. That's like Bethel Island, Discovery Bay, on the easternmost side of the county, right? And then you have urban Delta communities, Antioch and Oakley. And then you have Central County, so Martinez, Port Costa, Crockett, Mountain View, Clyde, Port Chicago, Bay Point, Pacheco, and Vine Hill. And then you have West County, which is North Richmond, Bayview, Rodeo, El Sobrante, Tara Hills, Selby, and San Pablo. So if anyone has any questions about this, I know they're working on this project with the Watershed Project. The county is working on this with the Watershed Project. And if anyone has any questions, they can contact Nicole Shimizu over at the county or ask us. But they're looking, like I said, for community members to kind of share their experiences here. So that is something that's coming up. Another thing that we have to share is a paid HUD tenant study. This is a study, a survey that's being conducted by the California Department of Public Health in collaboration with the Sequoia Foundation. The goal of this study is to characterize indoor air in low-income homes and test interventions that may improve air quality. So very, very applicable, obviously, to our group. William Goodwin sent this. So if anyone's interested or can help share this information, that would be appreciated. Again, this is also available in English and Spanish. Next, so Tri Delta Transit is having a youth ride free summer. So youth 18 and under can ride the County Connection, Tri Delta, and WestCat between June 1st and July 31st. So that's going to be really great. Definitely something we'll be sharing, of course, with our youth team. But if you know of anyone who could benefit from this, we would absolutely love to share that with them as well. And finally, we would like to open the floor if anybody has any updates or anything they want to share. Oh, no. Oh, sorry, Danae. I was going to add the Green movie series. I thought I kept this slide from the Green Footprint series. But if anybody has any updates that they would like to share, we have a couple of minutes to do so. And then just very quickly, as far as closing, our next meeting is going to be on July 9th, the second Thursday. But if anybody has any updates they would like to share, please feel free to unmute and share them.
I was just going to say that the Sustainable Contra Costa Awards Night dinner itself, I've been there 2 years in a row, and I'm just blown away, the organization, and it's really a tremendous, really event. At first I felt uncomfortable going, but I'm really glad that I did go. And then I went again last year, and congratulations to Sustainable Contra Costa. Great event.
Thanks, Lou. We're always really happy to have you there. So that's always very, very appreciated. And if anyone wants to come, I know a lot of you do come, but this is something that it's our main event, and we are always so happy to see everyone there as well. All right. Stacy, did you want to share your updates?
Yes. So next Wednesday, we are hosting a sheet mulching workshop for city employees, basically public works department. This goes into let me pull up the law that was passed, because I don't want to misquote it. We are having a sheet mulching workshop on Wednesday, the 17th, with the City of Pittsburgh and Contra Costa Water District. And this aligns with a new law that's going into effect on January 1st. It is the AB 1572 law. And with that, let me just kind of read a little blurb about what that law basically is. It's passed prohibiting the use of potable water to irrigate non-functional turf located on commercial, industrial, and institutional properties. Non-functional turf is considered ornamental grass, not used for recreation, civic, or other community events. This includes turf irrigated for aesthetics, such as just, street mediums, parking lots, things to that nature. So to help cities get prepared for this new law that's coming in, about 6 months, we are going to be hosting a sheet mulching workshop. So if you know anybody that works for today, I know that you're aware of this with the city of Pittsburgh, but also goes into like city of Antioch, Oakley, Brentwood area, that we are hosting a workshop and looking for city employees to attend.
And it's open to community members too.
Okay. Is there like a flyer or email that I can share with our public works? I can share then with their peers at other agencies?
Yes, I will
Okay.
forward that to you, Danae.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Perfect. And then there is something called the Community Climate Forum. They are led by 350 Contra Costa Action, but they've been having some really interesting like webinars about air pollution in our homes, specifically about like gas, water appliances, and heat pump technology, just clean air standards, and then phasing out like the NOx emissions from residential buildings. They have a climate forum. They have another webinar coming up next Wednesday on the 17th. And they're going to talk about California state bills, if anybody is interested in that. And then Edith and Patricia, do you have any updates that you would like to share? Any updates can also include upcoming events or just anything that you would like us to share as well.
Yeah, thank you. Not for this moment. We are being participating in different events and different school districts, and we always keep distributing flyers for air quality, and so yeah, but not something specifically. Yeah, not for this moment.
Perfect. Thank you. Danae, do you have any updates that you want to share? And then when is the next Green Footprint movie?
So actually the first one starts on Tuesday, the June 16th. We will be featuring the Lorax. And everything is free. Seats are seats are first come, first serve. We're hoping to have a good outcome, where we'll have a few vendors every series, and so everyone will sort of be like there'll be 3 vendor table community engagement opportunities at each one. And there will be goodies that we're going to be giving each participant, and then there'll be raffles at the end. So please spread the word. We're hoping for a good turnout, and it'll be in the AC, get away from the heat. Yeah, this will be the first of its kind, and so we're excited to see what that looks like, and how we can improve, the next few weeks to come.
Awesome.
And my understanding is there's 2 movies. The first one's in English, and then there's The Break, and then the second one is in Spanish.
Yes, correct. So it is at 12:30 is the English showing, and then they'll have the opportunity from 1 to 3:30 for the community outreach, and then at 3:30 we'll show the Spanish showing.
Awesome.
351 Railroad Avenue at the California Theater, across from the Mecca.
Awesome. And then I had that slide in like the last 2 presentations, so I'll find it and add it back to our slide deck. Also, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for your well wishes. My sister graduated college last month, so we canceled our meeting, but it was really, really nice, really cool. We're really proud of her. She's going to be a speech language pathologist like our mom. So that was really special and really cool. And she got tickets at the last minute, which is why the cancellation was kind of at the last minute too, because we didn't think we were going. So that was great. Yeah, thank you all for your kind wishes. We had so many nice emails. I was reading them to her. I was like, my colleagues are saying congratulations. So that was really sweet, and we really appreciate it. Our family really appreciates it. All right. Oh, last thing, Bay Point Community Resource Fair is going to be on Saturday, July 25th, at the Ambrose Community Center in Bay Point from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Supervisor Scales Preston's office is putting it together. And we did get some information about that, so I can send that to you guys if you want to register and attend. That's always a very well-attended, very fun event. It's going to be really hot, just being at the end of July, but it's a really fun event, and they usually have a lot of shade, so that'll be good too. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for
I'm sorry, Ellie,
joining.
but so all the information, I mean, awesome information that you shared. So if we go to the website or on Google, all that information's there if we want to follow up with anything or.
Yeah, so the Clean Air Coalition has a Google Drive.
And I'm sure I have access to it, so I'll just Google on Drive shared Clean Air Coalition.
Yeah, it's called East Bay Clean Air Coalition Public. And then in there, this is for everyone actually, if you ever want to see like the Google Group member directory or the monthly meeting materials, they're all there. Oh, and the Clean Air Coalition fact sheets that we have in use, they're all in that shared Google Drive. And then I'll also email them to you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Hopefully the Mexico game is still on, and we will see you soon.
Take care.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.